Hello, my friends. So today we are going to be creating a collage. So a collage is something that is where you take a bunch of different pieces of paper, you cut them up into different shapes and sizes, and then you glue them all onto the same piece of paper and make an artwork. So I'll show you an example that I made. So I've used all these different pieces of paper. These are papers that were painted already that I just had. And then these are some construction paper that I used. All of these other pieces. And I just pasted this all with a glue stick on top of a white piece of paper. And then you can see I also drew some little clouds and I drew some little details on my pink bird up here using a marker. And I also drew these little stems down here for my flowers. So this is sort of like what we'll be doing. You can use collage, so you can use different pieces of paper. If you have construction paper, different colored papers in your house, then you can use that. If you do not have that and you only have white paper, then you can draw on some white paper and make it colorful like these ones are, or you can paint them if you have paints. And then if you do paint them, wait for them to dry before you cut them up and use them. So any dried colored paper that you have, you can use and cut up into different shapes. So I'm going to show you some more examples too. Here I have one that one of my students made yesterday, one of my wonderful students, where he made a little person. So you can see he used different pieces of colored paper for the eyes of the person, the mouth, and the body. And then he used different papers of construction paper for the legs and the arms, and he even drew on these little pieces up here at some of these other artworks. So these are some examples from students from other schools. So you can see somebody made a person up here, somebody made a fish. This one is a birdhouse and some little birds over here. And then someone made a flower with a sun, some grass. Someone even made a house with a tree, a rocket ship, another person. Some of them even made robots. So these are all just different shapes of paper. And then you can draw on top of the papers a little bit to add some more details. So another idea that you see in this orange one and this green and blue one with the brown up here is these papers weren't completely cut, they were actually torn out. So someone actually ripped those pieces of paper instead of cutting them. So if I took a piece of paper and I wanted to make a shape that I know, like a 2D shape, so a square or a circle or a triangle, something like that, I would cut that piece of paper with my scissors and then I would have a triangle. So if I wanted to make something like a circle that might be more tricky to just try and cut one, I would go on my paper and I would actually draw out a circle first. So your circles never need to be perfect, but if it helps, you can find something that maybe you can trace to make a circle. So to trace something, you just set it down on top of it, hold it really still with one hand, and then you'll have to move your pencil all the way around, and then you should have a little shape. So it's hard to see on here. So that would be if you wanted to make a shape using scissors. But what some of these other artists did that we just looked at is they actually ripped the paper to make different fun shapes that maybe don't have names. So I'm just going to tear this piece of paper. So see, this shape is a fun shape, but I don't really know what this looks like. It's like a little bit of a circle, a little bit of a square, and a little bit of a triangle all mixed together. So this, maybe I would look at it and say, oh, that looks like it could be a head of maybe a dog. Maybe this is the dog's ears, and this is where the dog's nose would be, and I could put the eye right there, and I could make that into a dog. So that's an idea. You can rip your paper into different shapes instead of cutting it into different shapes, or you can do a mix of both of those things. So like I said, these are just some different examples. These ones are sort of like monsters or animals. We've got robots, and then you can make people, houses. This one is even an astronaut over here. You can make different animals. Really, it's up to you and up to your creativity, whatever it is that you feel like you want to do and make with your torn paper collage artwork. Okay, so I hope that you have tons of fun with this. I miss you all so much. And do not forget to take a picture of your artwork. You can even take a picture of yourself with your artwork like this and send it to me in the Google form. So in the Google form, you'll find that in my Bitmoji classroom. So that's the little classroom that you clicked on the paint palette to find this art project. If you go back to the Bitmoji classroom where you can see the paint palette again, if you look right next to the paint palette on the table, there's a little laptop. If you click on that, then it'll open up a Google form and you will write in your name, your teacher's name, what grade you're in, and then upload a picture of your artwork or of yourself with your artwork so that I can see it. All right, have a great day, my artists.